Just deciding to go live. Give me one sec.
Inc. 2023 Annual Meeting of Stockholders. Before I call this meeting to order, I would like to note that the meeting will be conducted in the manner outlined in the agenda and rules of conduct available on our investor relations website. I would also like to introduce you to the members of our board and our executive team who are with us today. The members of the board with us today are Anthony Noto, our Chief Executive Officer, Stephen Freiberg, our Vice Chairman of the Board, Ahmed Al-Hamadi, Ruzwana Bashir, Michael Bingle, Clara Liang, Harvey Schwartz, and Magdalena Esel. The executive officers of the company with us today are Christopher Lapointe, our Chief Financial Officer, Anna Avalos, our Chief People Officer, Chad Borton, our President of SoFi Bank, Kelly Keogh, our Group Business Unit Leader for Spend, Invest, Protect, and Save, Robert Lavitt, our General Counsel and Secretary, Lauren Stafford Webb, our Chief Marketing Officer, Aaron J. Webster, our Chief Risk Officer, Global Head of Operations, and LATAM, Derek White, our Chief Executive Officer of Galileo. Mr. Lavitt will act as Secretary of this meeting. I would also like to introduce Ryan Anderson of Deloitte Touche LLP, the company's independent registered public accounting firm. The meeting will now officially come to order. I've asked Mr. Lavitt to record the minutes. It is a pleasure to welcome our stockholders to the SoFi annual meeting. This meeting is being held in accordance with the company's bylaws and Delaware law. We will take care of the formal business at hand, which is described in our notice of annual meeting and proxy statement, which was mailed on or about April 28, 2023, to all of our stockholders on record at the close of business on April 18, 2023. Following the formal business proceedings, we will then have a question and answer session. Stockholders, as of the close of business on April 18, 2023, may submit questions at any time during the meeting through the virtual meeting website. Questions directly related to agenda items on which stockholders are entitled to vote may be submitted and will be answered immediately after the opening of the polls. An opportunity to raise questions will be provided following the formal business proceedings. All questions are subject to our rules of conduct. To ensure stockholders have the opportunity to participate, we will respond to no more than one question from a single stockholder. Now we propose to proceed with the formal business of the meeting as set forth in the company's 2023 Notice of Annual Meeting and Proxy Statement. Will the Secretary please report at this time with respect to the mailing of the notice of the meeting and the stockholders list?
I have at this meeting a complete list of the stockholders of record of the company at the close of business on April 18, 2023, the record date for this meeting, which is and will be available for examination by any stockholder on the virtual meeting website throughout this meeting. I also have with me an affidavit from Broadridge Financial Solutions certifying that commencing on April 28, 2023, a notice of internet availability of proxy materials was deposited in the United States Mail to all stockholders of record as of April 18, 2023. The notice provided that stockholders could access and review our proxy materials, including the proxy card, proxy statement, notice of meeting, and 2022 annual report, or alternatively request a printed copy of the proxy materials.
At this time, I would like to introduce Anthony P. Cardeo of the Cardeo Group, who has been appointed to act as independent inspector of elections at this meeting. Mr. Cardeo has taken and subscribed the customary oath of office to execute his duties with strict impartiality, which will be filed with the records of the meeting. His function is to decide upon the qualifications of voters, accept their votes, and when balloting on all matters is completed, to tally final votes. Will the Secretary please report at this time with respect to the existence of a quorum?
I have been informed by the Inspector of Elections that proxies have been received for 649,177,876 of the 944,129,594 shares of common stock and redeemable preferred stock outstanding on the record date, which represents approximately 70.63% of the total number of shares entitled to vote at this meeting. This constitutes a quorum for the meeting today, and we may now carry out the official business of the meeting.
I declare that a quorum is present. We will now proceed with the formal business of this meeting. After describing the proposals to be considered, we will open the polls for voting and respond to questions directly related to the proposals. The following proposals are to be considered by our stockholders at this meeting. Proposal 1 is the election of 11 nominees for directors to serve on the Board of Directors until the 2024 Annual Meeting of Stockholders and until his or her successors are duly elected and qualified, or until his or her earlier death, resignation, or removal. Proposal 2 is the vote to approve a non-binding advisory basis the compensation of the company's named executive officers. Proposal 3 is the ratification of the appointment of Deloitte & Touche LLP as the independent registered public accounting firm of the company for the fiscal year ending in December 31st, 2023. The last proposal, Proposal 4, is the approval of an amendment to the company's certificate of incorporation to grant the Board of Directors discretionary authority to effect a reverse stock split. Mr. LaPointe and Mr. Lavitt were designated as proxies by certain stockholders. Such shares represented by proxy will be voted in accordance with the instructions given. If no instructions were given, such shares will be voted for the nominees listed in Proposal 1 and for Proposals 2, 3, and 4. The Secretary will now describe the voting procedures.
The time is now 7:08 a.m. Pacific Time on June 14, 2023, and the polls are now open for voting on each of the proposals described by the chairman. Voting is by proxy and virtual written ballot. You do not need to vote again if you have already voted your proxy by telephone or by mail or by the internet. There is an order of business set out in the agenda so that we can proceed in an orderly and expeditious manner. All questions should be limited to the proposals that are the subject of this meeting. As a reminder, an opportunity to raise other questions will be provided following the formal business proceedings. Will our investor relations team please advise if we have any questions relating to an agenda item on which stockholders are entitled to vote?
We have received some following questions. What would be the threshold for deciding to implement the reverse stock split?
Hi, everyone. This is Chris LaPointe. Similar to last year's proposal that was approved, this is a break in case of an emergency type of proposal to give our board the option, if it chooses, that it's in the best interest of the shareholders to execute. It's not actually a decision to do a reverse stock split today. It is a shareholder vote to give the board the authority to execute for the next year if they so choose. We're incredibly proud of what we have built, but markets can be irrational. We think we have a durable business, so our confidence is in no way reflected in this ask for this vote for our board. What is reflected in the ask for this vote is prudent management. We want to give our board the option that if we enter a market that's even more irrational than what we're in now, they could take this option if it was deemed in the best interest of shareholders. We could not be more confident in the durability of our business, the trajectory of what we plan to accomplish, or the strategy that we're using going forward and the team to execute it.
If anyone attending the meeting has not yet voted and desires to do so, please do so now through the virtual meeting platform. It is now 7:10 a.m. Pacific time on June 14, 2023, and the polls are closed for voting on each matter presented.
May we have the preliminary voting results? Please note, any votes that were cast during today's meeting will not be reflected until the final report of the Inspector of Elections.
The preliminary results from the Inspector of Elections covering the proposals presented at this meeting indicates Proposal 1, to elect the persons nominated for director to the board of directors of the company, is carried. Proposal 2, the vote on an advisory proposal regarding the compensation of the company's named executive officers in its proxy statement for stockholder consideration, has been approved. Proposal 3, the ratification of the appointment of Deloitte & Touche LLP as the independent registered public accounting firm of the company for the year ending December 31, 2023, has been approved. I have been informed by the Inspector of Elections that 430,578,075 shares of outstanding stock, either in person or by proxy, has been voted in favor of the reverse split proposal. This amount does not exceed the affirmative vote of a majority of the outstanding stock entitled to vote needed to adopt the amendment. Therefore, the reverse stock split proposal has not been adopted. The final report of the Inspector of Election will be filed with the minutes of this meeting, and the final results will be included in an 8-K filed with the SEC.
There being no other business to properly come before this meeting, the formal part of our meeting is now complete, and the meeting is now adjourned. We will now review questions submitted by stockholders in advance of or during the meeting through the virtual meeting website. As a reminder, questions are subject to our rules of conduct, which permits the company, among other things, to group, summarize, and answer similar questions together. Will Investor Relations advise if we have any questions?
We have received the following question. What is your plan for securing shareholder confidence with this volatile market?
Thank you. We will continue to focus on ensuring great execution against our unique strategy and plans and give our shareholders as much visibility as possible into our progress. We've had 8 consecutive quarters of record revenue and 3 consecutive quarters of record EBITDA. We have stated our expectations to reach GAAP profitability by Q4 2023, and the key milestones we've already achieved and are on track to achieve to increase the confidence and visibility of achieving this key milestone. We do not have control over the markets, but we do have control over our ability to execute and our ability to communicate our progress to our shareholders. We could not be more confident in our strategy, our execution, and progress.
That will complete the question and answer period. If a question posted was not answered, such matters may be raised separately after the meeting by contacting our investor relations team. The email address and number are on our website. Thank you for attending the company's 2023 annual meeting of stockholders.
The 2023 annual meeting of stockholders has now concluded.
Goodbye.
I knew it was gonna be super boring. But someone on Twitter said, "You know what? Check it out. There's gonna be a Q&A." And I said, "Okay. Well, you know what? I'll actually I'll throw it up on YouTube." One question though: how are you gonna make shareholders happy through a volatile market? Wow. Okay. Well, I'll see you guys at 7:30. Thank you all for coming out. This is just a little quick 15-minute. Honestly, don't tell people to watch this. This was boring. Yeah, only one question and then one Q&A. Cool. Or one vote and then one Q&A. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The FinTech Frenzy. I almost forgot. 5th episode. I'll see you guys when you get back. Yeah, SoFi at 10. That's the good news. Okay, SoFi's at $10. What's at 7:30? I do a 30-minute live show every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 7:30, to go through all the fintech stocks that I want to cover, whether I'm holding them or not. Gets us sort of a broad range of the industry that I think will outperform the S&P 500. That's sort of the plan. Thank you guys. I'm going to get back to work. Have a great day. PayPal chat tonight? Definitely. We'll definitely be talking about some PayPal. Bye for now. 7:30 Eastern. Yep. Okay, I got to go.